Well, hey EVTV, this is Anna Kloppenborg with your EVTV Amsterdam update. I'm sure you missed me last week. I kind of left you guys hanging without a real update. We generally shoot our EVTV updates on Friday morning European time, which is like midnight in the United States. Only last Friday I was at home as my wife pulled rank on me and I got to stay with my sick little boy who was not able to go to daycare that day. He's all better now, and I've been at the shop this week moving on with our builds and our warehousing of components, sending them out into the EU for different builds. So that was last week's problem. We're back here this week, no problem at all. This last week we have some 818 updates in the sense that we moved ahead with converting the original WRX transmission from a 4-wheel drive setup to a 2-wheel drive setup. The manual that you get with the 818 kit really explains well how you do this. You kind of put her on the bench, you take off the rear mounting plate and basically take out the whole rear diff. And they add a new cover plate in the 818 kit, plus the whole details how to do it in the manual. So all in all, it was a cool little job to do. Plus, let me just check we got levels here. Yeah. So all in all, it was a cool little job to do. Plus, it shows again how the 818 kit really, it doesn't assume that you already are, an advanced mechanic as it goes for automotive components and that kind of thing, knowing how transmissions work, which is great because we as boat guys really don't know how transmissions work. So they take you through it step by step, and before you know it, you've adapted a 4-wheel drive transmission to a 2-wheel drive, and we move it further back into the car, put on the rear wheels instead of the front, and hey presto, it becomes a mid-engine rear-wheel drive sports car. Having upgraded or basically converted the drive, we're now ready to move ahead and get that coupling situated, plus that we're doing a lot more of the measurements in the car. Unlike Eric Chris, who has things measured out before he even buys stuff, basically has books written and EVCON talks given before he decides whether or not a project is worth doing. We're kind of the other way around. We fall in love with the project, figure like, hey, we'll try and make it work some way. Let's get that baby in here. Which means that a couple of months into it, you start scratching your heads going like, how's this gonna fit? So anyways, we've got Ray definitely measuring it out, and where there's a will, there will be a way, and I'm sure we'll get it in. The 818 is continuing to draw some attention. It's definitely a popular model, and it has opened up our eyes to the amount of kit car, custom car enthusiasts that there really are out there here in Holland. We really didn't know about it so much. We're boat guys, not so much car guys. But now they're coming out of the woodwork, and we found a great company, Speedon, which is only about an hour down the road from Amsterdam, that invited us to come visit and talk kit cars, talk future possibilities. Speedon to me is really the kind of company that proves the point Jack's been making, that there is very much both a DIY and professional market for EV and high-performance EV components, even after the tech adoption curve has been there, and even if all OEM cars are electric, there's still going to be this desire for either upgrading or keeping on the road of classic cars and boats that people love, and there's going to be this performance desire and a drive your own way desire, being able to do something with your own hands or to your own tastes. Speedon to me is the company that really proves this. I mean, here they are completely focused on large gas-burning engines and conversions of, middling power to ridiculous power, redonkulous power even, or upgrading classic American cars and keeping them on the road for people that have a passion for that. So I mean, there's people who have ample opportunity to buy off-the-shelf parts or buy completed cars, yet they come to a company like Speedon to help them build their kit, or find a kit, or upgrade an existing kit, or upgrade an existing old-timer. Misha, who started the company 10 years ago, now has 10 FTE full-time employees working for him and in his company, just to keep up with demand and serving this very demanding crowd, but also a crowd that'll spend some money on having things their way. Well, obviously he's getting some more of those questions that some shipyard builders are getting as well, like, hey, what about electric? I hear electric's pretty good, especially for certain racing and crossing. It's really, they say it's all about torque, much more so than it is about horsepower. So a lot of people are very interested in electric. Vice versa, we're in the market for services that a company like his, a lot of challenges they have on a daily basis with motor mounts and adapter plates and couplings and clutches and upgrades of automotive components. If we want to go forward and be a shop that'll do, car upgrades or car servicing or, EV servicing in the future, we're going to need a backup of knowledge and parts and buying power in that kind of automotive high-performance market. So we're kind of reaching out to different partners for that future, plus sniffing around and looking at their business model as an example of where the EV high-performance shop could be going and where the customers could be coming from. I mean, we need this to be a business for it to be a market. So that was really exciting and really cool to see. Plus that he gave us the tip that there's a car out there called the Saker, which is also using the WRX transmission, using it in the way that we do, converting it to two-wheel drive, putting it in the rear and having it drive the rear wheels. And there's a whole class of competition using these basically kit cars. So the Speedon company really advised us that once we have the 818 out and rolling, we should cruise down by the company that organizes the Saker races and show them, hey, we've got a drop-in kit for your drivetrain, basically. So exciting developments on the car front for us, the boat guys from Amsterdam. Has it been all cars this week? Well, no, not really. Last week you saw our tiny little time-lapse segment of us disassembling the Delta. Well, we finally had that new prop that I've been moaning about for 4 months in. Why are we taking her apart? Well, the new prop was tested, and even though I was definitely excited about the extra ability of the slightly larger prop to put torque to water, our main issue with vibration and noise hadn't really changed that much. Plus, even though other people were definitely impressed with the performance, being a guy that's done a few electric conversions and has sat in many high-powered conversion at EVCON events, I was all kind of like, meh. Where's the real pickup power? Where's that EV grin? I was more like EV, instead of EV, yeah! So we knew that we really wanted to kind of revisit the motor and drive setup, especially going forward towards now wanting to offer limited run productions of new Deltas. And you got to have a good idea of A, how to market that and show how the original Delta came out, and B, have to have a really good idea about how you want to place your motor and the kind of experience that you're going to be offering to people, besides the fact that it's going to look really cool. So we disassembled the Delta and we brought her over to Middenmeer. Gilles of Gilles Botenbouw is our new partner that will be building the new Delta, and he's also going to be our partner in revisiting the drivetrain setup of the original Delta to make her better, faster, and more dangerous. I went over to Middenmeer and visited with Dick and checked out what he was doing with our original Delta. So let's take a look at that. Okay, well, hey EVTV, we are here with the Delta, and she is in Middenmeer and completely on the operating table. I'm standing next to the surgeon and general and boat builder, Mr. Dick Gilles of Gilles Botenbouw. Dick and I met at the HISVA boat show that you all got to see on one of our previous updates. And at the time, I was shopping around for someone to join Project Delta and build us a new one. And Dick Gilles is going to be the man for the job. How you doing, Dick?
Excellent.
Excellent.
Certainly now. And we are at the beginning of making the Delta better as she was before, and also making the new Delta.
Exactly, which is a great thing to do.
Yes, yes.
So you were walking around the HISVA boat show and you saw this shape, got to talk to us a little bit about the thing. What do you feel about the project of the boat, the size of the boat, the drive line, and what we're trying to do here?
Fantastic.
Yep.
It's the new drive line.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this boat was made in the 50s with a petrol engine, and now we are 50 years further, and we have an electric drive train which is going to be in there, and we are going to water ski with that, and it's going to be perfect, better than what was before.
Exactly. And you've seen the little movies, and I'll put them in this week's update. Marilyn Monroe types water skiing in the 50s, to then bring that to 2014 should be a kick.
Yes, certainly.
Yeah.
And I think we can do that as well with the Delta, with an electric propulsion, because there's enough power.
Yeah.
And as long as the batteries last, we will be able to water ski.
Well, exactly. Dick and I went out on the new Amir with the current Delta and her now previous driveline setup. Dick definitely wasn't scared to put on the throttle, and you'll see in some of the video that I was looking kind of scared for a moment there. We had some really choppy water. As for the electric drivetrain, you told me that up till about 10 years ago you had some experience building different drivetrains, and at the last boat that you built, you were spending about 15,000 euros for 10 kilowatts, was it?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Thereabouts.
The last boat I built with an electric drivetrain, I did build in Amsterdam a fleet of boats, rental boats, some 20 of them, with a very small engine, only some 2 kilowatt electric motor, and that was more than enough to propel a boat up to speeds of 6, 7, 8 kilometers an hour. We even had to
tone her down.
Tone her down.
Limit.
Yes, limit her, because it was going too fast.
Yeah. In Amsterdam, they say you're allowed to go faster than walking, slower than a bike. If you're passing bikes while you're in the canal, you're being a bad boy.
That's right. Yeah. And you make waves.
Yeah, exactly. So you're a dick, basically.
So, but in those boats, we had a different type of electric motor, a permanent magnet motor, and that was all right. But to go fast, you need a different motor. You need a asynchronous motor, as we called it in those days. I think it's still the same now.
Yeah, absolutely. These are the AC, and the ones we're using have an inductive motor, and now we're going from the air cooling to the water cooling, getting the higher power levels. But really, like Jack often says, it's really all about the batteries. Regardless of the price of the motor back then, especially looking towards planing boats, we need the power density and we need the capacity on board without the boat sinking for weighing too much.
Yeah.
So that we can now get a total drivetrain into a new Delta, at or under 15,000 is the real target, so that you then have a marketable product, both in drivetrain and in boat, I guess.
Yeah, I think that depends on the price of the batteries. And how the size of the batteries, the price and the size.
Yeah.
And that's the big part.
Yeah.
Also, you need quite a lot of power as you're driving fast, because I've got a boat here which has a diesel engine of 180 horsepower, and I put a hybrid engine on top with a lithium battery.
Right.
But that's a small battery.
Yeah.
And then I also was in that price range of 15,000 euros.
Yes.
But it's just a 2 kilowatt motor.
For an add-on system.
For an add-on system, for just driving slowly and without any noise also in Amsterdam.
In the canals, exactly.
In the canals, yes.
I've took some pictures of this system before, and I'll show them while Dick is telling us about it. It lets you basically turn off the diesel engine and engage the electric system in a what's then more like a parallel hybrid instead of a series hybrid system.
Yeah.
And so you have that low maneuvering speed for zones where you're either not allowed or would rather not have a diesel or petrol-based propulsion. So you're quiet, you have no emissions, and then when you're outside of the locks onto the big water, long range, high power, you re-engage the system. So that was basically the state of play at that moment.
The advantage of a lithium battery is that I could make a totally electric hybrid system with only a weight of 100 kilograms. And that's an important part.
Right. You don't want to lose passenger capacity. You need to...
No. Otherwise the boat's going stern down. That's not good.
Yeah, no, exactly. In our Glastron, I mean, our original conversion, it originally had a 6 people occupancy. We were definitely down to 3.5, 4 people after the conversion, because that was, not the most efficient form of boat. She was old. We had a lot of battery in her. So it's always been this challenge, which is part of the reason why we're here with the Delta. Lightweight aluminum hull. The percentage of weight of batteries versus the total boat is going to be a higher number, and you'll just get more range out of the same amount of battery. So it's a good platform to show.
Also the design of the new Delta is slightly changed to compensate for the extra weight of engine by the batteries and by the engine itself. So therefore we will not lose quality of sailing, quality of...
You don't want to make a heavy, tubby little boat. She wants to be just right for her length and weight.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Hey, and just to finish off, the last thing we're doing here is to make sure that when we're presenting a new Delta around, that we also have a newly thought out drivetrain setup, because in the original, what I did here differently than with the Glastron and the Netcraft is that we took a existing system, but we replaced it with more torque, more RPM, more power, in a setup that was older than the other setups that I'd used. And what we came out with, as Jack lovingly called the growl, or the electric banjo, was a system that just had more power than the prop and the setup could really handle.
Especially more RPMs.
Right.
And that was the big problem, I think. There was a lot of vibration, and when a propeller drives too many revs, it starts to cavitate. So that's what we are trying to take out now by reducing the RPMs of the prop shaft with a belt propulsion. And it's going to be 1 to 2. So when the engine makes 5,000 revs, the prop shaft will be 2,500. Yeah. And for that we have a different propeller, still a lot bigger than the propeller which you...
Bigger is better.
And a different shape as well.
Yeah.
And,
absolutely.
And I hope we can get enough power in the water, because there's enough power on board.
Yeah.
The engine is strong enough.
Yeah, there's no problem there.
But how are we going to get it into the water?
Yeah.
And have this fantastic feel of going from 0 to 60 kilometers an hour in just 3 seconds or something.
Exactly. Well, and that's really the feeling, the EV grin that we were kind of missing in this boat. Everybody that I took out was thoroughly impressed. Ourselves, since we felt how the Glastron and the Netcraft behaved, we were kind of like, meh. It's not quite what electric can do yet. Plus, having the noise at the top end, kind of other people were going, so, hey, you got a 2-stroke in there? What's going on? So we really want to get that quiet, high-speed cruising and that whole shot. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll be updating as the new engine and setup go in. I'll be overlaying this whole talk with some of the pictures that we made of the new prop and the new setup and the belt drive. And probably in about a week or 2, 3, we should have her back in the water and showing you all how it went out. That should be right?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, Dick, it's been really great talking to you here. I'm really enthusiastic about the new drivetrain and looking forward to seeing a new Delta arise from your shop.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and it was very nice telling about my thoughts in this project.
Cool, man. Thanks a lot. Take it easy.
You're welcome.
So hey, that was me and Dick Gilles, really a great guy, and I'm very excited about having him and Jan Visser, the naval architect from Friesland, involved in the Delta project. As we are really the drivetrain nerds that are very enthusiastic, it's very important that we find and partner up with people that have both the nautical experience, background, skill set, and labor ability of building, designing drivetrains in boats. And then on the car side, it's very important that we're working with companies like Humming Performance, Speedon, the custom car guys, just to make sure that when and if this market does pick up and we have more people to serve or people that we can help out with their builds, that we have the right kind of network here in place and locally, so we can help them out and maybe even start serving these other companies with drivetrains and training of our own. This way everybody does what they're good at, and we all serve more customers and get more EVs out on the road or the water. So that should be good. Anyways, real exciting stuff for the Delta and the 818. And yeah, we still got this going. So anyways, real exciting stuff for the Delta and the 818. Definitely moving forward on both projects. For the EVTV Amsterdam warehouse, this week we had a pickup of 2 crates of batteries going to Ireland, 1 load going to our famous Damien Maguire for the JTM Power. They probably have a little 24 volt action going on there. And the other is a little pallet of 40 amp hours going to a motorcycle conversion. A couple of months ago we had Eamon Stack buy some batteries from EVTV and put them into a Vectrix and now has over 80 miles of pure electric range that he has convinced a buddy of his to do the same with a slightly lighter bike and 40 amp hour batteries instead of the 60s. So within a couple of weeks we went from 0 bike builds to now 1 completed and the other on the way. Should be real excited. And the final package that was picked up was a HPVS AC75 system with the 144 volt controller going to the UK. So we'll be serving another car build with HPVS kits over in the UK. This is after our first build, which was the Toyota, like a 6-person Toyota van built in the Isle of Man already last summer. So we're kind of moving up with the builds there. It's definitely the car builds in the England with the easier MOT that are leading the way, and hopefully a little later in the year we'll have some more stuff that's road legal here in the Netherlands and Germany, and show you all that. Anyways, that's about it for this week. We're going to keep on building, you keep on building, and we'll see you next week. Take it easy. Bye-bye.